Good afternoon.
Good evening. It's actually Thursday evening. We're doing this a bit early because lockdown finishes at 12 tonight and we're going to shop tomorrow until we drop. Need to get hit in the shops straight in. Love shop. You're a shopper.
Well, yes, I could shop for Ireland.
You could,
that's
yes.
true. But you know what? It hasn't. I haven't actually had
No, you
any
haven't?
withdrawal symptoms.
Do you know the old joke? A thief stole Priscilla's credit card.
Oh yes.
Yeah, but we didn't report it to the police because he was spending less than she was.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
so...
actually, do you know what I miss? I must tell you, up at that place, what did you call it? Not Forest Side, the other one. Anyway, Sprucefield in Marks and Spencer's. Honestly, you hang around hang around the clothes section, the men's clothes section, and you hear some stuff.
You could get arrested.
I know you could, but I heard this woman, and she's a bit of a country lady, and she's on the phone. She goes, "Is that you, Bert? I've got you a suit. You do need a suit. You do that old. I don't like that old one you have, and it's 30 years old. I'm buying you a suit. It's black. No, you should black. You do. And I bought one for Bobby as well. He will want it. They're in the sale. I'm buying them anyway." Honestly, it was so funny.
It's a comedy show all on its own.
It is anyway. What have you been thinking about?
The other morning, the physicist Professor Brian Cox was on the news,
Anyway.
and he was talking about. They were talking about places in the UK, you know, that have very little light pollution and how much you can see the night sky, etc., etc. And then he began to talk about how, you know, it was astronomy that drew him into studying physics and its vastness, and how it not only made him think about science but also philosophy and where do I fit in the universe. And I thought it was sort of interesting because he waxed lyrical about the universe and I mean,
how big it was.
Yes,
you remember
and
that?
how
It was like
vast.
trillions of...
I actually looked it up today, and it's just staggering. It says that in a study in 2016, it was estimated that the universe contained 2 trillion other galaxies.
Which is a trillion's 1,000 billion.
You know, other than our galaxy, and that in our galaxy, it says the sun is just about what our sun is just about one of, and it says between 100 and 400 billion stars. Which, you know, he was talking about it, and he was actually very inspirational, but I thought, so how can you not, when you see all of that, he obviously doesn't think about God, but how can you not think about the one who created it? And I was lying awake last night. I didn't sleep very well last night, which is...
Was I snoring?
Oh, no, you weren't snoring.
I don't snore.
But, you know, I don't always sleep that great. Anyway, so in those times I either pray or start to think big thoughts. And I was thinking, Lord, I can't get my head round the vastness of this universe that you've created. And that we are in this tiny little planet, and you know, and so what it made me think was, if I can't get my head round what you've created, how can I get my head round who you are?
Yeah.
The one who has created. It's almost like, to me, it's a picture of the vastness of God and the otherness of God, that he is so other than us. And then I began to think, you know, about this little planet, and then all the people on this little planet, and me on this planet, and I thought, and yet you know my name, you know the number of hairs. It's not hard for him to count the number of hairs in your head, but you know the number of hairs on our head, and you love me, and you live in me and with me. And honestly, as I lay awake last night, I was almost overwhelmed by that thought, that this enormous, vast God, I have a relationship with him.
And all because he became
a
human being.
It's all linked to
the incarnation and the fact that he came and revealed himself to us. Otherwise, how could we know a God like that? I've been again doing the look and story of the birth of Jesus, and I've got the bit where John is named and it says, you know, you're calling his name John, which actually I don't think we kind of get the significance, because he should have been called after his father to establish a family link. It doesn't actually tell you why the angel insisted he be John. It doesn't tell us that. But when you come to the naming of Jesus, it's really important that they establish a link with the Davidic throne line. That Joseph had to be part of the line of David. He had to be born in the city of David. They had to establish, without any sort of contradiction, that Jesus Christ was part of that great promise given to Abraham and could be linked back to it. And of course the point is this: John was simply a voice crying in the wilderness. It didn't really matter that he wasn't linked to his family, even though he had a family, but that wasn't important.
Because he was pointing to
Because
Jesus.
he's pointing to Jesus. What was really important is who Jesus is. And it actually says something to us about, I think, Christmas and what we're doing is the centrality of Christ, that he is the centre, and that all the other voices and all the other things, they actually don't matter that much, but it really matters who he is. Let me read to you what David Gooding says. He says, the gospel is not a set of timeless universal truths expressed in the language of myth. The gospel is that centuries ago, God started a great movement in history with Abraham and his seed, and then with David, a movement which is every bit as literal and historical as the rise of the Roman Empire, and that Jesus the Messiah and Saviour is the culmination of that historical movement, come to fulfill all the promises made and through David. That's why Paul, even in Romans, when he's talking about the gospel at the start, he says that the gospel is of God, the gospel of God concerning his son, who was born of the seed of David. And then in Timothy he says, remember Jesus Christ too, risen from the dead, of the seed of David, according to my gospel. This incarnation is no myth. It's really important that it's part of history. And it's a real thing, that God entered time and space, the God who made those trillions of galaxies, and revealed himself to us that we could have an intimate and personal relationship with him. And so fantastic.
It is fun, and even that grounds it for me, because like when I look at the vastness thing, I actually get overwhelmed by that. Whereas to know that he entered our world and it was historical and it was in time and place and for purpose is the most comforting thing to know. And in the book,
have you written a book?
I've written some books.
Available now.
Actually,
PaulPriscillaReid.com.
we were just saying for our friends in the south of Ireland, because it is expensive to post it from here. Not all of you are near Dublin, but one of our daughters, Lucy, lives in Dublin, and we were going to take some books down and leave them with her, so that if anybody was in the Dublin area and
you
just
pick one up,
wanted to pick one up from her,
so
if you message
us, we'll let you know where she lives.
And then, but anyway, they have a wee section in it about Christmas and Advent and the Incarnation. So when I was thinking, again about God being born in human flesh, this is what I thought. Newborn. Gazing into your newborn eyes, I wonder at your thoughts as you gaze at an unknown world of wonder to your yet unfocused sight. When Mary gazed with wonder into your newborn eyes, did the same question rise unbidden in her yet unfocused thoughts? Did it seem as if the Creator was peering out through infant eyes, thinking eternal thoughts, but cloaked in softly wrinkled skin? I cannot think that it was so, for then you would appear a freak. Instead, embracing human flesh in all its glorious frailty, you lay unthinking in loving arms as every newborn baby ever has.
Fantastic. Anyway, have a great week. God bless you. Bye.